A century ago, the United States carved an unprecedented waterway through Central America. The Panama Canal became one of the most ambitious engineering feats in human history, transforming global commerce and linking two oceans with a single stroke. For nearly 100 years, America controlled every lock and shipping lane, until handling the canal over. But now there's a new push to take it back. Donald Trump, never one to back down from a fight, has hinted at a controversial idea: reclaiming control of the Panama Canal. Could America take back the Panama Canal? And if it did, what would that mean for global commerce? A vital artery in global trade. Today, the Panama Canal stands as a bustling conduit of international commerce, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through a 50-mile stretch in Central America. Managed by the Panama Canal Authority since its transfer from U.S. control in 1999, the canal has seen significant upgrades, including an expansion completed in 2016 to accommodate larger vessels. This expansion has bolstered its capacity, making it a critical passage for global shipping. However, recent challenges have emerged. Drought conditions have led to lower water levels in Gatun Lake, the canal's primary water source, resulting in restrictions on vessel drafts and increased transit fees to manage congestion. These measures have sparked concerns among international shipping companies about rising costs and potential delays. At the same time, China has increased its influence in Panama, investing heavily in infrastructure and trade, raising concerns in Washington about potential geopolitical shifts. Some U.S. officials fear that Beijing could gain undue leverage over one of the world's most important trade routes. Meanwhile, Panama insists that it maintains full control over the canal and that all nations benefit equally from its operations. Despite these hurdles, the canal remains a pivotal player in global trade, underscoring its enduring strategic importance. With increasing congestion in global shipping routes and rising geopolitical tensions, the Panama Canal is once again at the center of international debate. The canal's origins. The tale of the Panama Canal is steeped in ambition and geopolitical maneuvering. In the early 20th century, President Theodore Roosevelt spearheaded the U.S. effort to construct the canal, envisioning a shortcut that would revolutionize maritime trade. The U.S. facilitated Panama's independence from Colombia in 1903, subsequently securing rights to build and control the canal. Completed in 1914, the canal was hailed as an engineering marvel, drastically reducing the maritime journey between the east and west coasts of the United States. Construction was an immense undertaking. More than 25,000 workers lost their lives to harsh conditions, diseases like malaria and yellow fever, and industrial accidents. The project, costing over $350 million, equivalent to billions today, was one of the most expensive and ambitious infrastructure developments of its time. For decades, the U.S. maintained control over the canal and the surrounding canal zone, a situation that fostered both economic benefits and political tensions. The canal not only served as a vital commercial route, but also as a symbol of American ingenuity and power on the global stage. However, this control was not without controversy. Many Panamanians viewed it as an infringement on their sovereignty, leading to protests and calls for its transfer back to Panama. Despite the disputes, the canal functioned as a linchpin in global trade. The U.S. military protected the zone through both world wars, ensuring that this crucial artery remained operational. However, as the 20th century progressed, the push for Panamanian control became undeniable, setting the stage for one of the most significant geopolitical transfers of the modern era. As the 20th century progressed, sentiments shifted. Many Panamanians viewed U.S. control of the canal as a vestige of colonialism, leading to growing unrest. The 1964 Martyrs' Day protests, where Panamanian students clashed with American forces, intensified calls for sovereignty. This unrest forced both nations to reconsider their stance on the canal's governance. In response, President Jimmy Carter and Panamanian leader Omar Torrijos signed the Torrijos-Carter Treaties in 1977. These agreements set in motion the gradual transfer of canal control to Panama, culminating in the official handover on December 31, 1999. The treaties also guaranteed the canal's neutrality, ensuring it would remain open to vessels of all nations, regardless of political affiliations. The transition was not without controversy. Many in the U.S. opposed the move, fearing that Panama lacked the expertise to manage the canal effectively. Critics argued that ceding control would weaken America's strategic influence in the region. However, proponents of the treaty emphasized that it was a necessary step toward correcting historical injustices and fostering stronger U.S.-Panama relations. Following the transfer, Panama successfully modernized the canal, proving naysayers wrong. The country invested billions into expanding its capabilities, increasing revenue, and solidifying its role as a global trade hub. Today, the canal generates billions annually, contributing significantly to Panama's economy. Yet questions about its long-term stability and external influences remain at the forefront of global discussions. How the canal operates. At its core, the canal operates through a system of locks that lift and lower ships to traverse the Isthmus of Panama. This process is made possible by Gatun Lake, an artificial body of water situated approximately 85 feet above sea level, which serves as the canal's central passage. The canal utilizes a gravity-fed water system, drawing fresh water from Gatun Lake to fill and empty its lock chambers. Each transit requires millions of gallons of water, which are ultimately discharged into the ocean. This reliance on fresh water makes the canal vulnerable to environmental factors, particularly droughts. In recent years, declining rainfall has led to lower water levels, forcing authorities to impose draft restrictions and increase transit fees to manage limited resources efficiently. The passage through the canal consists of three primary lock systems: Miraflores, Pedro Miguel, and Gatun locks. Each system contains massive chambers where ships are raised or lowered in a carefully coordinated sequence. Water enters and exits these chambers through culverts and sluice gates, ensuring a controlled and gradual transition. The process is highly synchronized, minimizing delays and maintaining a steady flow of maritime traffic. A major milestone in the canal's history occurred in 2016 with the completion of its expansion project. This initiative introduced a new set of locks known as the Panama Canal Expansion, or Third Set of Locks, designed to accommodate Neo-Panamax ships, larger vessels with greater cargo capacity. This expansion dramatically increased the canal's throughput, reinforcing its role as a key artery for international trade. However, despite its technological advancements, the canal faces growing competition. The Suez Canal, which provides a direct route between Europe and Asia, and emerging Arctic shipping lanes, made more viable by climate change, are alternative options for global shipping companies. To maintain its relevance, Panama continues investing in modernization efforts, ensuring the canal remains an essential component of global commerce in the decades ahead. A renewed interest. Fast forward to today, and the Panama Canal is back in the spotlight. President Donald Trump has expressed a desire to take back the canal, citing concerns over increased transit fees and alleged Chinese influence in its operations. He argues that the canal's current management disadvantages American interests and has not ruled out the use of military force to regain control. These statements have reignited debates over the canal's ownership and the strategic interests at play. Panama's President José Raúl Mulino has responded firmly, asserting that the canal is sovereign Panamanian territory and dismissing claims of external control. Trump's stance has drawn mixed reactions. Some view it as a necessary measure to counter foreign influence in the region, while others see it as an impractical and aggressive approach that could strain diplomatic relations. The question remains, will the U.S. attempt to reassert control, or is this rhetoric meant for domestic political gain? The Panama Canal's strategic importance cannot be overstated. It serves as a critical juncture in global trade, with a significant portion of maritime commerce passing through its locks. More than 14,000 vessels transit the canal annually, carrying goods worth billions of dollars. The canal connects over 140 maritime routes and links more than 1,700 ports in 160 countries, making it a linchpin of international commerce. Any changes in its control or management could have far-reaching implications for international shipping, trade agreements, and geopolitical alliances. A disruption in canal operations would send shockwaves through the global supply chain, potentially increasing shipping costs and causing delays in essential goods. Moreover, alternative routes, such as the Suez Canal or even the Arctic shipping lanes, may not be viable substitutes due to their own limitations and risks. Trump's assertions have raised concerns among global stakeholders about the potential for increased tensions and disruptions in this vital corridor. If the U.S. were to pursue efforts to reclaim influence over the canal, it could provoke strong reactions from Panama and other Latin American nations, straining diplomatic ties. Additionally, China, which has invested heavily in Panamanian infrastructure, may view any U.S. intervention as a direct challenge to its regional interests. The situation underscores the delicate balance of national interests and international cooperation, and the complexities inherent in managing such a pivotal asset in the global economy. Moving forward, the world will be closely watching how U.S.-Panama relations evolve and the broader geopolitical chess game surrounding this indispensable waterway. Would reclaiming the Panama Canal be a strategic move or a reckless one? Weigh in below, and don't forget to like and follow for more thought-provoking content.